Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Chris Hogan, AI Solutions Architect with Vista View Solutions, and today is all about AI for business, what's real and what's new. We're going to be covering three things. First, we'll be seeing what's happening in the market and where AI is already creating value. Second, we're going to be looking at SAP's AI strategy and some examples of what they've already delivered in AI features. And third, we'll be looking at some practical information to help you move forward in your AI initiatives, wherever you might be starting from. As we go forward, do drop any comments or questions in the chat. Ristov, that's joining me, will help me monitor that, and I'll try to address those as we go along. But we will have time at the end that will address any kinds of questions that might be outstanding. And then just one quick housekeeping note, the session is being recorded, so if you prefer not to be included in that, feel free to disconnect now. And either way, the recording is going to be shared once it's available. With that, we'll get started. So 2025 was a year that AI moved from being interesting to usable for business. We saw a number of things. First, models took a real step change forward, making them more usable in our day-to-day. And we saw that in better instruction following and faster response and improved quality. And then we saw the arrival of like planning and reasoning, even deep research, right? So where we can use these kinds of tools to send them off to do a research task, maybe takes 10, 15 minutes, but it comes back with a really good breadth and depth of research. We even saw capabilities like agent mode, or it goes by the name of computer mode, where these agents are now able to look at screens and operate and do tasks and workflows and come back and ask for human-in-a-loop intervention. We even saw, arrival from other folks like DeepSeek out of China and open source models that have really closed the gap between what frontier labs are doing and what others are able to do. And it's just amazing to see that, just 2 to 3 years ago, ChatGPT arrived and it was really just text-based versus now with all these kinds of capabilities and tools at our disposal. Second, what we saw was multimodal went mainstream. And what that means is we're now able to work with unstructured enterprise data. So if we think about what happens in, all the data that we work with on a day-to-day basis, right? It's not just text, but we've got images, we've got audio, we've got video. It's all in our files and our documents, right? And looking at screenshots and taking screenshots, all kinds of meetings and emails and reports. And so now these kinds of tools are able to work with these things a lot more fluidly. Third, it became a lot simpler and more practical for companies to be able to get answers based in their company data. For individuals like you and I, we're able to upload those to these chat-based tools and do that kind of analysis grounded in that particular document. But also in terms of like other companies that are building solutions, they are much more able now to build scalable solutions because the vendors have really simplified retrieval augmented generation tooling for those folks. Really important though is we saw embedded AI start to land in core suites, the applications that you and I are using every day in our business. And that's important because AI is arriving now in the flow of work where users are getting things done. And that's across the company's departments in terms of marketing, sales, operations, through to accounting and reporting. We also saw agents rolling out. And so that's important because this technology now is moving just beyond question and answer and individual task optimization to executing multiple steps across applications and systems, along with, supported by its reasoning and traceability. And lastly, we saw governance starting to catch up. And what that's really important for is organizations are now able to control and manage better these AI-related risks. And it's showing up in tooling within the solutions that are being delivered, as well as in just infrastructure technologies that we're already using. So these things together have created an environment for business for AI to take off. And the spend in the market is supporting this. And on the right, you see from Gartner, them projecting that $2.5 trillion US worldwide AI spending is what they're going to be expecting to see in 2026, which is well over 40% from what they saw in 2025. And so the takeaway from all of this is that companies have moved from just exploring AI to now prioritizing AI-enabled business outcomes. In the next two slides, we're going to take a look at just a cross-section of different parts of the company and some sample use cases that you can already find in the enterprise application type of software that we're all using in our day-to-day. So as an example, in customer service, AI is being used to help teams quickly understand, the cases that are in front of them, determine next steps and surface likely solutions, which is really speeding up resolution and improving consistency. In sales, AI is helping teams research clients, pulling information together from multiple sources, highlighting what's important, and allowing the teams to show up better prepared and address clients' needs. And in marketing, for some time now, actually, AI has been enabling those teams to make it easier to create and edit and personalize content across the variety of channels and formats and audiences that they're catering to. In operations, a lot of time traditionally is spent just trying to find the right information or clicking through, right, the number of screens and steps just to get transactions answered. And AI is helping now to collapse that. In accounting, for organizations, as an example, that have high volumes of invoices, or they're using document extraction technologies to streamline getting those documents into the ERP, which is cutting down on manual entry and reducing errors. And lastly, in reporting, this one is users now are able to essentially ask questions of the reports, of the data that's in those reports in plain language, and even dig into underlying, what's driving the numbers and get answers to what would otherwise require a lot of manual number crunching. So these are just a sample of use cases that you can already find in all kinds of enterprise suites. And the point really is that these major providers are already down the path of embedding AI into their solutions, and that's already really starting to have business impact. So with that backdrop, we're going to now zoom into SAP Business AI. And in the next couple of slides, we're going to take a look at their strategy, and then I'll flip through a handful of sample AI features that they've already delivered in SAP Cloud ERP, which you would otherwise have known as Cloud Public or Cloud Private. Also, for any folks that are joining who are currently on SAP Business by Design or Business One, what I'm about to go through doesn't apply to your current ERP, but if you're considering a migration to SAP Cloud ERP, this is going to be a helpful preview in terms of the direction that you're heading and the kinds of AI capabilities that you can expect. So this message here comes straight from SAP CEO Christian Klein, and just 2 weeks ago at the SAP Go-to-Market Kickoff. SAP is all in on AI. Why? Because AI, together with business data, is going to disrupt how companies and users are interacting and running their business. So SAP is doubling down on AI for business, and here's their 5 strategic priorities for 2026. One, Joule is the new AI user experience. They're taking it from being just a chatbot, a co-pilot on your side, to being a highly intelligent digital worker that will help with tasks and workflows, doing analysis, recommendations, answering questions, and it's everywhere. Human language and that interaction of like speech to text is what they're envisioning becomes the new standard. Embedded extensible AI, they're seeing that in every business process where users will also be able to use Joule to orchestrate other agents, specialized agents in those processes. And customers and partners will be able to extend those types of agents or build their own using no code or low code or pro code kind of tools. SAP's got a number of industry applications, and here they're going to be using AI and reimagining the processes to be better and improved just in ways that weren't even possible before AI. Business Data Cloud is going to be the basis for AI, and SAP is really doubling down to accelerate their development of data products, curated data products, and taking those and infusing them into the analytics and AI layer, really to harmonize both SAP and non-SAP data so that companies can run analytics with high quality information and also have a foundation needed to build high quality AI use cases. And lastly, they're going to be working to bring AI tools more into the migration for consultants and developers to help reduce and collapse the cost and time of migrating customers to SAP Cloud solutions. Here's what Joule as a new AI user experience really means. If you think about it, for years, we've been working by navigating dozens of applications, right? Logging in and logging out, searching for data, entering data, and manually really like stitching these processes together. That way of working will eventually come to an end. SAP is already creating a future way of working where users will engage mainly through Joule and orchestrate AI assistants right across the landscape, helping to, bring up those insights, coordinate actions across systems, really just helping teams get these end-to-end processes done much more naturally. And it's not going to be an AI replacing people, but rather a combination of human and digital workers working together. This isn't going to happen overnight. It will be a journey, but the direction's already been set and SAP's already down the path. Joule's available in all of their cloud solutions, and there's already a first set of agents in place with much more to come. SAP's biggest advantage is its flywheel of apps, data, and AI that reinforce each other. SAP is uniquely positioned really because of its scale. It's the largest provider of enterprise application software, with its customers generating about 84% of global commerce. So that's a lot of transactions that are running through applications running mission critical business processes. And it's that unmatched breadth and depth of applications in those mission critical processes backed by SAP's decades of deep experience in those industries that gives really rich business context. Those applications are producing a treasure of mission critical, semantically rich data. And what we mean by that is it's keeping its process meaning. It's not just raw records in a database. And that semantically rich data then is really what's empowering SAP to create powerful business AI and embed that into their apps and through Joule. And the flywheel spins, right? So it's the apps creating the data that powers AI, and SAP infusing more and more AI into those apps that's creating compounding value for customers over time. So in summary, SAP's updated strategy for 2026 is this. They're building on their position as the ERP leader with the broadest set of applications, creating the most semantically rich business data foundation. And on top of that, they're embedding AI across their portfolio and reimagining how work's getting done. That's the future of what ERP looks like, and you get there by having good applications and good data. So I'm going to switch gears now, and I'll flip through a sample of AI features already available in SAP Cloud ERP. Again, this is what you would have formerly known as public or private cloud. And this is really just meant to give you a taste of the breadth and the types of use cases that are there. To set the stage, SAP has already delivered a significant number of AI features. In 2025 alone, they brought that number to over 350 across all of their products. Within that, there's over 50, which are specific just to cloud ERP. In SAP, though in 2026, they're planning to bring this overall number to 800 AI features. The Discovery Center is a place, and I'll drop a link into the chat at the end of the meeting here, where at any time you can go and see the features that are released. There's always more and more coming, or if you're just curious to kind of peruse and browse the ones that are already there. As we look forward in the roadmap viewer, already we can see over 360 AI features that are planned across all SAP products. And there's almost 100 which are specific just to SAP Cloud ERP. So this is forward looking and there could be changes, but this is SAP making strides to get to that number of AI use cases of 800 by the end of 2026. The roadmap viewer is where you can find more details on this, and I'll share that link as well at the end. So now flipping through a couple of these use cases, here's Joule, right? So it's already released across all of SAP's cloud solutions. Some have more functionality than others, but with every release, that functionality is deepening across all of its solutions. And as mentioned before, Joule really is the new user interface, helping users find what they need, enter transactions, or execute business processes through Joule or other agents and assistants. In sales, AI is helping teams to enter sales order data directly from, here's an example of a customer purchase order that's been scanned. And this is leading to lower costs and fewer errors entering this kind of information. On the fulfillment side, when there's issues that pop up, AI can quickly surface what's wrong and help guide the user towards a solution to keep those kinds of orders on track. In billing, AI is helping analyze posting issues of customer invoices and recommending fixes so that teams can resolve those kinds of issues a lot faster. Similarly, on the AP side, AI is helping analyze and resolve issues that would be blocking payments of supplier invoices. So, getting those issues resolved and getting those invoices paid, leading to, much more increased supplier satisfaction. This one's interesting. It's actually been released for quite some time now. In reporting, AI is letting users use natural language, as we were mentioning earlier, to drill into the data, ask questions, get those answers, but really drill into underlying data patterns, what's driving, certain changes or deviations in that data, and being able to summarize that then in a way that makes it easy to understand and communicate to others. Here's an example of a great agent that's coming for accounting, where the agent will help analyze and propose accruals. It'll show its reasoning and it'll draft a posting that you can review and approve before actually posting it. So this will be the kind of thing, it'll be a real time saver at month end. And another one that's a bit forward-looking, a bit more forward-looking is, and a good agent example is this one here, a financial planning agent that will help monitor a number of different data sources and signals from those and analyze insights and propose scenarios. And all of this is really to help planners spend less time gathering the information and more time deciding on it. So with that, we've now reached the last segment of this presentation. Just a bit of practical information in terms of how you can move your own AI initiatives forward, no matter where you're starting. This is a typical AI journey, and you can see on the left-hand side there's a number of really good, credible AI maturity frameworks out there, but they all essentially converge on what you see here on the screen. Early on, it's experimentation. There's a lot of valuable learning, but there's unclear guardrails and decision rights, and you rarely see any wins that you can point to. The next step is really where things get disciplined. So prioritizing the use cases that are tied to strategic priorities, and then running outcome-driven, like business outcome-driven pilots, and making fast decisions around those to either scale them into live production or stop them. And it's at this stage where you get your first wins and you begin to see measurable value, but it's often driven by the heroics of a few. And the adoption is, really kind of isolated and localized to a small set of users. So it's as you get more of those solutions that get live and adopted into key workflows that AI starts producing measurable value, right? In terms of time saved or costs reduced or revenue increased, or just mitigating risks. And that momentum then builds because it's creating business impact across a broader user base and more key business processes. From there, scaling is really about repeatability and reuse. So repeatability around getting more of those deliberate business outcome-driven outcomes into production and adopted by users. And reusability in terms of shared data foundations and integrations and governance that you've been building all along the way. And so in all of this, the key really is that we all start somewhere near the beginning and move to the right. And how you move to the right, it's all the same. It's all based on delivering business outcomes that are creating measurable business value embedded into the key workflows where the work's happening. And that's what matters. Here's a simple playbook that you can use to help yourself move forward really at any point. There is the first one really is around leading with the business problem. So it's really easy, right, to look to the tool, look to the solution because we're excited about that and the things that it can help us with. But really digging deep and understanding the business problem will serve you well into the end. Start with that process pain, start with the decision you want to improve, the outcome that you want to move, and let that drive the solution and the data and technology choices that you'll have to make. Second, start with already available, right? We've kind of gone through already, talked about a number of enterprise application providers already bringing AI capabilities, SAP included, is well down the path. They're all in on AI. And so there's already a number of capabilities likely that your team can start utilizing to unlock business value. And then when you need more, buy proven solutions before you build custom. And really what that is because things are happening so fast, a lot is changing, that when you look at custom solutions, you really want to make sure that you're really building only on things that are going to be truly differentiating for you, or that nothing else is really ever going to fit. Number three, start small. And what we mean by that is really around scope, right? Keeping the scope focused. One workflow, one key process, one particular decision point or outcome. Deliver that win, measurable win, and then repeat. So it's really all about managing the scope and having clear ownership around ensuring that measurable value. Fourth is really building on each one. We kind of talked about that actually in the earlier slide, right? So what we mean here is rather than treating each initiative as its own one-off, you're building reusable pieces along the way, and you want to strengthen those pieces as you go. And those are the kinds of things like the data that you're cleaning up and pulling along, like the integrations that you're strengthening, and even the delivery approaches that you're using to get these solutions into production. The last one, and it's the one that often gets missed, is change and adoption. You really want to make that part of every deliverable and bake that into the deliverable upfront, so that the organizational change management and the user adoption is already planned, because it's really key. Doing these 5 things is consistently is really how you're going to be able to progress along that maturity curve, regardless of where you are. And the way that you'll know that it's working is that you'll see those business outcomes, measurable business outcomes in those key enterprise workflows. So in closing, I hope you found the information in today's session informative and useful. If you'd like to continue the conversation, there's a QR code there that you can scan, and there's a short contact form that it'll bring you to, and then we'll follow up directly with you. We'd really also appreciate any feedback that you have or topics that you'd like to see us cover next. And you can send that to the email that's listed on the screen there at sap@vistaviewsolutions.com. I will at this time drop into the chat those links that I was talking about, and then we will look there too for any kind of questions that folks might have already dropped. Or if you have any questions now, feel free to drop those in the chat. All right, I see from Miguel in the Q&A a question around how is SAP coordinating the AI strategy for SAP and Concur and success factors? Yeah, it's a great question. So, as we were talking about the strategy that SAP has, that strategy is across all of their SAP cloud solutions, including Concur, including success factors, including Ariba. We then narrowed down in this session on SAP Cloud ERP, went through some use cases, but I'll drop the link, and I was going to do that right now. I'll drop the link to the Discovery Center. And if you were to go there, you will be able to navigate already and see solutions, AI features that have already been delivered in those solutions, like success factors and Concur. There's a lot actually in success factors that's already there. Thanks for the question, Miguel. So I've just dropped those links now in the chat, and I'll just give a few moments to see if there's any other questions. One other question that's often comes up is around like the licensing. Like, how does that licensing work? How's the cost structure around these kinds of AI capabilities? And on that note, in early days, in early 2025, it was honestly, it was a little confusing in terms of how it was structured, but SAP's done a lot of great work to really simplify that and clean that up and make it really easy. And so when we were going through those AI features, and when you go to the Discovery Center, the AI catalog there, you'll essentially see that it's separated into what SAP calls base AI and then premium AI. And the base AI are features that are already there in the SAP Cloud solutions that you can already use at no additional cost to you. And those include some capabilities in like base Joule, like navigation and question answer and helping with transactions, and even some embedded AI in the apps and screens that you would be using on a day-to-day basis. The premium AI, those are things where you've got advanced Joule use cases, some of those agent use cases, and then some other advanced, really AI use cases. And the way that they've structured those is the Joule premium use cases, they've got those basically on a per user per month consumption basis. And then the ones that are very specialized consumption use cases, those are basically also just based on a consumption, but they're based on like a per request or per record. So really what we're talking about there is you've got base AI where there's no additional cost. It's already there. You can, after enabling it in your solution, start using it. And then you've got the premium AI solutions that are consuming based on the consumption. And that's a topic around AI credits that you basically buy on an annual basis and are able to distribute those AI credits across the use cases that you've enabled in your user base. I'll take one last look just at the questions to see if there's anything else that has come up, and I don't see anything else. So at this time, yeah, thanks for joining us, and hopefully this was of value and helpful to you. You get the QR code there that you can scan, the links there that you can follow and look into more information, and we'd love to hear from you and follow up and continue the conversation about wherever you are in your AI journey and how we can help you move forward. Thanks again, and have a good rest of your day. Bye for now.